world today, people are gathered in love vigils to celebrate the life of a man that taught the world how to love. People may be wondering why there's such an emotional outburst, but you would have to understand the journey of Michael to understand what he meant to all of us. For these that sit here as the Jackson family, a mother and father with 9 children that rose from a working class family in Gary, Indiana. They had nothing but a dream. No one believed in those days that these kind of dreams could come true. But they kept on believing, and Michael never let the world turn him around from his dreams. I first met Michael around 1970, Black Expo, Chicago, Illinois, Reverend Jesse Jackson, who stood by this family till now. And from that day as a cute kid to this moment, he never gave up dreaming. It was that dream that changed culture all over the world. When Michael started, it was a different world. But because Michael kept going, because he didn't accept limitations, because he refused to let people decide his boundaries, he opened up the whole world. In the music world, he put on one glove, pulled his pants up, and broke down the color curtain, where now our videos are shown and magazines put us on the cover. It was Michael Jackson that brought blacks and whites and Asians and Latinos together. It was Michael Jackson that made us sing "We Are the World" and feed the hungry long before Live Aid. Because Michael Jackson kept going, he created a comfort level where people that felt they were separate became interconnected with his music. And it was that comfort level that kids from Japan and Ghana and France and Iowa and Pennsylvania got comfortable enough with each other to later it wasn't strange to us to watch Oprah on television. It wasn't strange to watch Tiger Woods golf. Those young kids grew up from being teenage, comfortable fans of Michael to being 40 years old and being comfortable to vote for a person of color to be the president of the United States of America. Michael did that. Michael made us love each other. Michael taught us to stand with each other. There are those that like to dig around mess, but millions around the world, we're going to uphold his message. It's not about mess, it's about his love message. As you climb up steep mountains, sometimes you scar your knee, sometimes you break your skin, but don't focus on the scars, focus on the journey. Michael beat him. Michael rose to the top. He outsang his cynics. He outdanced his doubters. He outperformed the pessimists. Every time he got knocked down, he got back up. Every time you counted him out, he came back in. Michael never stopped. Michael never stopped. Michael never stopped. I want to say to Mrs. Jackson and Joe Jackson, his sisters and brothers, we thank you for giving us someone that taught us love, someone that taught us hope. We want to thank you because we know it was your dream too. And we know that your heart is broken. I know you have some comfort from the letter from the President of the United States and Nelson Mandela, but this was your child. This was your brother. This was your cousin. Nothing will fill your heart's loss But I hope the love that people are showing will make you know he didn't live in vain. And I want his 3 children to know, wasn't nothing strange about your daddy. It was strange what your daddy had to deal with. But he dealt with it. He dealt with it anyway. He dealt with it for us. So some came today, Mrs. Jackson, to say goodbye to Michael. I came to say thank you. Thank you because you never stopped. Thank you because you never gave up. Thank you because you never gave out. Thank you because you tore down our divisions. Thank you because you eradicated barriers. Thank you because you gave us hope. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael.
And good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us here tonight for Saturday night, August 29th, for a 10 p.m. East Coast time slot and a 7 p.m. Pacific time. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Michael Jackson Birthday Bash, where tonight you will hear from Mike Garcia, Kerry Anderson in Hour 1. Hour 2, you will hear from Geraldine Hughes, along with Michael Jackson's former nurse Sherilyn Lee. Hour 3, we bring in Michael's former defense attorney, Mr. Tom Mesereau. And you'll need to switch links when we do that. Don't forget. And the last hour, at a quarter after that hour, we will be bringing in, making her debut to this show. She was in the Thriller video with Michael Jackson, that groundbreaking Thriller video. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored tonight to have Miss Ola Ray all tonight. Just a few instructions before we introduce our guest. To give a major shout out to Bo Vandergrift. You could check out his YouTube page at Vandergrift Movies. Okay, it's time to bring in 2 men that were very close to Michael Jackson. And let's get started. It feels like it's been less than a year that I'm bringing back one of my pals. He is a former bodyguard for Michael Jackson. He was with him every step of the trial, and he was a big presence in Michael Jackson's life. He's a great friend of mine. He's a great friend of the show's. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Kerry Anderson. Good evening, Kerry, and welcome back to King Jordan Radio. How are you?
Good evening, Jordan. Thanks for having me back. How are you?
I'm doing good. So
Good.
What's on your mind today as we celebrate what would have been Michael Jackson's birthday?
Well, I'm just thank God for the time that we had with him. It was very short. I wish he was on God's earth a lot longer than than he was, but thank God for the memories that he's left us, the legacy that he's left us, and I don't know. I listened to just a lot of his music today, and it just brings back memories. Before I was with Michael, when I was with Michael, and like I just say, just thank God for his life and the legacy that he left for us.
Absolutely. And Kerry Anderson, first of all, how is your family doing? First part, two-part question, and the other part is the book.
Well,
just before you answer that,
yeah.
Mike, if you're listening, just read your message on Facebook. It's Mike Garcia, if you are listening. So just please read your message on Facebook. Thanks. Okay, go ahead, Kerry.
Yeah, well, one of those kind of piggybacks off the other. I've been challenged lately with some medical challenges with both of my parents dealing with mental illness. And it has kind of put the book on hold right now. So I don't want to make any more promises as it relates to when it will be released. The majority of my book is completed. It has to go through some other legal issues right now. But like I said, I'm believe that God is going to get me through all of this, and but for the most part, my family is doing well. I'm just dealing with my parents and the aging process, and I had no idea that I would be challenged like that in life. I always thought I was a pretty well-balanced, tough guy, but this kind of challenge when your parents get old. They always teach you how to, or instruct you on not doing drugs and trying to be a productive member of society, but what they didn't prepare me for is them getting old, so I'm dealing with that right now, and quite naturally, I believe the book is going to be amazing. I know it is, as a matter of fact, and it's going to bless a lot of people in terms of how Michael really was, how he was as a person, as a philanthropist, some of his views that a lot of people didn't know about, and anything good, that's going to come out, the devil never wants it to come out, and you're always going to be challenged when something is good. It's kind of like childbirth. A woman goes into the first trimester, second trimester, and she's most uncomfortable in the third trimester, in the ninth month, and when water breaks. But lo and behold, after she goes through significant pain, that beautiful child comes forth, and we're kind of in those stages right now. So the book is going to be birthed, and it will be a blessing to all of his fans, I believe to his family, and it's going to keep the legacy going, at least the part that I had to do with Michael. I'm going to just share in detail my time with Michael, and it's going to be a good thing. It's going to tell you some things that people didn't know. So, but I can't promise when it's going to be out because I don't want to make any more promises.
That's the best way to go. We are indeed waiting for Mr. Mike Garcia. I have so many numbers up there. He usually calls on a certain number, and I don't see that number. So if you could kindly look at your Facebook message and just answer, so we could get you up on this, and I can ring you up on this show. Now, Kerry, for the listeners that haven't had the privilege of hearing you live here on King Jordan Radio, tell the audience what you did for Michael and how many years approximately you spent.
Well, I was considered director of security for Michael, and my duties were to ensure that his family remained safe at all times. I was basically in charge of his security. However, once Michael and I got to know each other at a really quick pace, because we spent so much time together, and then I came highly recommended from somebody that was a confidant to his brother Randy, and Randy and I had known each other, and Michael really trusted Randy. So once I was in, some of my security details went into other duties that I did for Michael. But mainly, I just ensured that he and his family were safe. And, prior to that, I was a police officer for Los Angeles for over 20 years. And so I had some significant background in terms of executive protection, and I had worked for a few other celebrities prior to Michael. But obviously he was the ultimate, and it was amazing what I did, and our relationship, how it grew. I initially thought I was just going to be kind of a part of another security detail, and I did inherit, if you would, we can refer to it as that, a couple of guys that were with him prior to me. And we actually started I started in, I think, February of 2004, and then it went on into the earlier part of 2006 and 7. So it was an amazing time. It went from, meeting him and meeting his family, and I was quite nervous, but he made me feel just very, very comfortable. The first day I met him and got in there, and he and the kids came in and
Kerry,
introduced him.
Let me stop you for 1 second. We also find ourselves in a similar situation as last year, where I'm stopping you to introduce, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce another bodyguard. He spent time with Michael Jackson in 2006. He went all over the world with Michael Jackson. His name is Mike Garcia, and he joins us on King Jordan Radio. Good evening, Mike. How are you?
Doing fantastic. How are you doing, Jordan?
Say hello to Kerry.
How you doing, Mike?
Good to hear from you again. Pleasure to hear from you again.
Good to hear from you.
Okay, Kerry, if you can, please continue.
Oh, I kind of didn't know where I left off. But it was an interesting time when I was with Michael. It was very difficult at times. I had never, like I said, I'd had experience dealing with celebrities, but nobody of his magnitude that was so recognizable all over the world. And I kind of learned that the hard way very quickly with some of his fan base and some of the things that they tried to do. They really tested my, security and executive protection skills like no other. But
right.
It was very interesting. They get real creative. The fans are amazing. His fans they have resources that I never did understand, and I would talk to several of them, and because no matter where we were on the planet, they were there. It's like, how do you guys get this money to just fly all over the place, and stay in hotels and all of that? But I learned a lot from them, and it was a good time with Michael for the most part.
And Mike, you could speak to that in terms of the Michael Jackson fans. How was Michael Jackson in your experience dealing with the fans?
How was he dealing with the fans? He was very gracious with the fans. I was just listening to Terry speak right now, and he was just kind of listening to him speak, just kind of brought in some memories as far as, and I totally agree. I had the same question, like how did they find him? We were working our best to, really kind of be confidential about our whereabouts, and Kerry probably, this too, where they would just show up. There was a time in which Mr. Jackson came from L.A. and I greeted him. I was there to greet him. Came on a chauffeured bus, and there was a girl who was always, every day, hanging out in front of the house here in Vegas. And, she would bring Mr. Jackson some cookies and, and some cakes and things like that. And she was out there every day, and we'd go out there and give her water, of course. It was 110 degrees and whatnot. And Mr. Jackson, this is when we came back from Virginia, and he was coming here from L.A., and the bus came, and greeted him, say hi to the kids and all that kind of stuff. And as I came off the bus, I could see in the car was this girl, and I was thinking to myself, did she follow the bus all the way here? And, in asking questions as far as, who knew as far as Mr. Jackson, the whereabouts and how he was coming here, nobody could figure out how she did it, and just like Terry mentioned, it definitely keeps you on your toes. It definitely keeps you, an open mind as far as your craft is in doing executive protection. But I tell you what, he appreciated it, as much as being surprised of somebody showing up or whatnot. He truly appreciated it, and he loved the love that he got from the fans, and he generally loved the fans back. Yesterday I was doing another interview in which that the fans. We were in New York, and the fans, in Times Square, and the fans were there and everything else, and it was overwhelming it being in New York City Times Square, and Mr. Jackson kind of scolded me on the way home about how to be a little bit nicer, and I learned from that. In a sense, and him being one of my heroes, it just kind of brought me down in the car, but. It definitely keeps you on your toes. There's, like Terry mentioned, there's nobody else that has that kind of response, from people. And it's amazing. I spoke on it yesterday in the other interview. It's just amazing how he has that aura or that magic, and it's almost, I don't know, it's just a connection with his fans that I've never seen, and I've worked for a lot of more celebrities and everything else, and it's not the same. It's just not the same. It's definitely a lot more, love that's shown between both parties, the fans and Mr. Jackson. And definitely celebrities can definitely learn from that.
I want to ask both of you a question. I think over the weekend or whatever, this award ceremony, they're having a Michael Jackson award for the third year or fourth year, and I believe Kanye West is scheduled to win it. And I was reading some of the comments, and a lot of people, to say the least, were not happy about that. Kerry Anderson, let me start with you. How do you feel about Kanye West winning the Michael Jackson Vanguard Award, if the rumors are true?
Well, I really don't know. I don't know Kanye West. I've heard things about him. I've seen some of his I don't know if you call them antics or whatever. I've never seen when he rushed on stage, and he's very outspoken, I would say. Yeah, and that incident, and then I think it was one other incident. But I don't know him personally, so I don't want to, pass judgment on him. Obviously, whoever the parties are that, determine who's going to be representative of Mr. Jackson by winning his award, I'm sure they did some kind of vetting process or some kind of research on Kanye West. So maybe he's done something. I know Michael Jackson is an amazing person, so I'm sure the person that, if in fact, he is the recipient of it, there had to be some kind of vetting or some process that he went through with the people that select somebody that is going to be representative of Mr. Jackson in the award. So I don't really want to pass judgment on it because I don't know the guy. I really don't, and I try not to badmouth people.
Have you heard his music?
I've heard a couple of his songs. Yeah, I've heard a couple of his songs, but I'm not a fan or anything. I respect him as an artist. Obviously, I don't own any of his product, but obviously a lot of other people do. So as an artist, I'm sure he's at the level where he would be selected for the award. I don't make a comparison to him because I don't think anybody can touch Michael Jackson, but I don't know if that went into actually or that qualified you for being a recipient of the award. So I don't know. I don't really have too much to say about it because I don't know. This is all rumor whether he's going to get it or not, and like I said, I don't know him individually. He's never done anything to me. I wouldn't do certain things that he's done in terms of being outspoken, but that's just a different style that he and I have. So, but I don't have anything bad to say about Kanye West.
Okay, and let me go to Mike, but before I do, the audience, you are welcome to speak to the bodyguards, Sherilyn Lee, Ms. Hughes, Tom, or Oleray. In other words, you can speak to them now. If you call in now, you could speak to them. You could speak to Tom later. So it's all good in that standpoint. Mike, your thoughts. I know you do listen to Kanye West, but your thoughts on him getting the award, the Michael Jackson Vanguard Award, I think tomorrow.
I agree with Terry saying, you know, I don't want to pass judgment as far as, you know, him getting the award. I'm not too sure what the qualifications, you know, that somebody could be a recipient of that type of award. So I don't want to speak on it. You know, Kanye is a talent. You know, and like Terry said, I wouldn't do some of the things or say some of the things that you know, like he did. It's a little much.
Apologize,
you know, but all I can think in that regard, you know, is that I'm sure that Kanye is very appreciative of that, and I say that from just kind of witnessing Kanye when he met Mr. Jackson down in New York City. Now, I'm not sure if that was his first time, but we were in New York City, and we were, I believe, in Manhattan, and we were kind of standing out in front of a music executive's house, and we were kind of looking down the street, and we saw somebody coming towards us with a big gold chain, and we kind of just looked, and then we were like, that's Kanye West, and he was coming towards us. And when he came up to us, you know, we're standing in front of the house, and he come up to us, and, you know, he was like, you know, he was kind of serious, you know, he was just like, hey guys, you know, this and that. And then went into the house. He was probably in the house 20 minutes, I'd say. And when he came outside, I mean, he was giddy as a schoolgirl. I mean, he was so, you can tell that he met the king of pop, and he met Mr. Jackson, and his whole demeanor was just so much different from him going into the house. So, you know, like I said, I agree with Terry. You know, I don't know what the qualifications are, but I'm sure that you know, Kanye is pretty excited, you know, to get that type of award just from seeing his response from meeting Mr. Jackson that day.
I totally agree with you, and if anybody remembers the past winners, please leave it in the chat. All right, we do have some callers. Remember, you could speak to the bodyguards, you could speak to, and then I'll keep you on hold. So let's go to our first caller. Area code is 818. Please state your name and where you're calling from. It's your turn, and you're on King Jordan Radio. 818.
Yes, hello. I'd like to say hello to everybody there. Tom, the bodyguard.
What is your name, sir?
Hola. My name is Gregory, and I'm calling from North Hollywood.
Hi, Gregory.
How you doing, Gregory?
Well, I just wanted to, I didn't know that the show was here, and I just started listening, and I think it's wonderful that you guys are doing this show, and I just want to give everybody a thumbs up and a happy birthday to Michael Jackson, and all my love to everybody that was either there for Michael Jackson and protecting him or working with him. God bless all you guys. I have nothing but love and respect for all you people on the panel today.
Thank you. God bless.
Thanks, Gregory.
I think I'm going to get back and I'm going to... Yes, Kerry. Yes, it's me, Kerry.
Yeah, Gregory.
I love all you guys.
That's one of Michael's fans.
I just want to sit back and listen to the show and enjoy it. So I didn't know I was going to get on live. So, but thank you very much for letting me come on. And
you got it. And we're going to have Tom later. Would you like to speak to Tom? And
Tom Mesereau, he's amazing. Tom is like a angel sent from heaven. God bless Tom Mesereau. You know, he's a wonderful man. I've met him a couple times. He's a very, very nice man. So God bless him. And like I said, everything that these people do in life from that point on, you know, you have my love. You have the love of the world. You know, we all love you and we respect you. You know, because this is a rare group of people that haven't sued Michael, that haven't did him wrong or hurt him. These are people that cared and loved for him. So as a true Michael Jackson fan, I love you too. So God bless you. I'm listening today just to enjoy it, you know.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Gregory. Good to hear you.
God bless all you guys.
God bless.
Thank you.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, just want to listen. Let's see if we have anybody else. Okay, we are good for now. And Okay, Kerry. Now, last year you told us a lot of stuff about the threats, and now, were you there in terms of being Michael Jackson's bodyguard at the time of the preliminary trial? Were you there through the whole trial?
No, not at the preliminary hearing, if that's what you're referring to. I actually started a couple of days before the actual trial. I think he was, the Nation of Islam was in charge of his security prior to me getting there, and I started after them. But from the day one of the trial, actually I've been with Michael a couple of months before the trial actually started, and then all the way to the end. But I didn't do a preliminary. That was when he was on top of the car. That wasn't me. That was the other security team.
Right, and okay, so you were there. Now, another topic that was on this network called Reels, and I'll talk about that with Tom Mesereau, is that the prosecutor, Ron Zonin, said that Michael Jackson had no interest in girls. I heard both of you mention that he did like girls. Now, Mike, let me start with you. From what you from what you saw and being around Mike, MJ, in your opinion, do you think he liked women?
I know he did. I picked up his friend from the airport. When we were in Virginia. I mean, not that I disclosed the name, but he was being discreet about it and just said, "You're going to pick up a friend," and that's who we knew her as. And she came out to the estate where we were staying out in Virginia and whatnot, and he would be in the back seat with her, and I believe we said it. We talked about it in the Good Morning America interview, but it was it was either kissing or doing some loud gum, and he definitely loved women though.
Okay, Kerry, how about you? In your opinion, I know the answer already, but for the benefit of the audience that hasn't heard this information, do you believe Michael Jackson liked women?
Absolutely, and for somebody to make a statement that whoever says that Michael Jackson didn't like women, you're talking to a person that didn't know him. That's 100%. And I don't know how much time Mr. Zonin spent with Michael Jackson, but obviously he got some bad information because Michael Jackson loved women. That's one of the biggest misconceptions, and I'm going to go into that in my book because one of it's a funny story. I'm not obviously going to divulge certain things, but one of the stories is so funny. Still Michael Jackson was shy, but he definitely loved women. And I always saw him being a gentleman, and just knowing him and his brothers, they all like women, and they're even from the dad on down, and in a very respectful way is what I'm saying. They view women, I think they cherish them, actually. But like I say, anybody who would say that Michael Jackson didn't like women, that's an idiot talking because they don't know him,
Absolutely.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, it's stupid to judge the book without reading the whole cover. Definitely stupid. Let's go up to area code 912. You're on King Jordan Radio. Please state your name and where you're calling from. 912. Okay, they hung up. Okay, the Michael Jackson album came out last year. Now there is talk of another album. We spoke about this somewhat. These are I like the Escape album. I particularly like A Place with No Name. Some of the other tracks. Two-part question to you guys. Do you want to see another album come out? A, and the follow-up is, did you get a chance to listen to Escape? And if so, did you like it? Kerry.
Yes, I heard Escape. I like that. I like the first one you mentioned. What is it called? The Man with No Name. I love that one.
The Place with No Name.
Place with No Name. Yeah, I really like that song. And as far as new music coming out, by all means, if it's authentic, I would always love to hear his music. And I know during my stay at Neverland, I would walk in on Michael, and he was doing certain things with lyrics and music, and I didn't understand it because there was all kind of machines and computers and stuff in there, but I got a chance to listen to some stuff, and it was amazing, and I haven't heard it yet. And I know if people heard those things that I heard, they're traditional Michael Jackson things, you know, if there's any such thing as that, but you would definitely know it was him. And it was awesome music. So I don't know all the business side of it. And one thing I always say is if his children approve of it, then who am I not to, say that it shouldn't come out, because I love his music, and I think his fans would really love it. So I'm all for Michael Jackson's music continuing, unless somebody can tell me something like, it's being that the children aren't benefactors of it or whatever. Somebody's taking his money or, some bad business deal side of it. But I would love to hear his music. And I know he's got things that have not been released that are him.
That's right.
I would love to hear it.
Mike, your thoughts? Did you hear Escape, A? And you for another posthumous album, B?
I like the song that you mentioned, and I
Place with No Name.
Yeah, and I heard another version of it a couple months ago, which was pretty nice too. I think with another album coming out, I think that just like you mentioned, as long as it's going to the right, benefactors, the kids and things of that nature, I'm all for it. And the other part of that is the fact that I think the fans want to hear it, and I think Mr. Jackson would want the fans, to hear those songs, you know what I mean, and hear the music that they haven't listened to and whatnot, and it's such a close relationship with the fans and his music and how he thought about the fans, that I'm sure that he would want them to hear the songs in which that, like, the music that Terry just spoke about that haven't come out yet. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I listen to it, to Michael Jackson Station on Pandora and all that kind of stuff. And, like Terry's concerned, as long as it goes to the right people, as long as, and it's not being used, for other people's benefits and things of that nature. But if it's going to the right benefactor, especially the kids and all that, absolutely, absolutely. I think Mr. Jackson, would want the fans to hear his music. I think the fans want to hear, more music. So it's a win-win for everybody, and it's, it's what's supposed to happen. It just needs to be done in the right way.